It's Friday night, and as we were all just saying together, it's time to party. 'Cause that's what we do on Fridays.
That's what I do every night. Every
Yes.
darn night.
Yes, my voice sounded fairly, I don't know.
Angelic.
Was it angelic? Thank you. It was angelic. I was
Sure,
going to say kinda like
cherubim.
half Valley Girl, but mixed in with a little maybe, I don't know, 90s something. I'm not sure. I don't know what it was. Anyway,
Hi, welcome to the Cult Show.
I'll try and perfect that voice for you guys. I'll work on it more.
You're so good with your accents.
Yep. That'll be my new one.
So good at it.
Anyway, it is Friday night, and we are here together. How are you all? How is the world? How are our friends in chat?
I mean, things could be better, but they've been worse. You know,
Okay.
at least I'm happy to be here with you guys, so that's something.
Yes. I
Absolutely.
am very
And
happy to be here.
we're gonna talk some sci-fi tonight. Some Caleb picks.
Yeah. Yay.
Some
No
Dick's
horror.
picks. DIX is his last name. Dick's picks.
So it works.
It works perfectly well, actually. In fact, why the hell didn't we think of that until just now? It should have been a thing already.
Wow,
Okay.
regrets.
Regrets. So, anyway,
Shucks.
all right. Apparently, we need some more booze in our lives, Sandra. So you're gonna have to fake it till you make it.
Should
So what
I
are you
just come
drinking?
around with like some booze to all of you? Just like bring it round like a serving
Yes.
wench?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, wench. Wench, will you please serve it to me in the leather pouch of an animal? And
Any pouch? Any pouch will
yeah, I
do.
don't care what kind of pouch it is. I mean,
I'm having a blast from the past for my beverage tonight. Having a
Is that a
dad's
dad's?
beer.
Wow.
I don't even remember the last time I've had one of
Yum.
these. I mean, probably when I was like a kid. So I've got that. And I have some iced tea waiting in the wings. But I'm really excited. It smells good. Smells real good.
Are you gonna drink it? Or are you just gonna?
I don't know.
revel
We'll
in
see.
it? We'll see what happens. All right.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what develops.
Do it. Do it. Take a sip. We're all watching.
We'll do it when we do a cheers.
Oh, okay, fine.
That's what I'm drinking. That's all.
All right. So I'm just going with some straight Knob Creek smoked maple bourbon.
Oh, yum.
Ooh.
One of you,
Wow.
I can't remember which, gave me this one for my birthday. So thank
Probably
you.
Scott.
And Scott's
And Sandra.
little and Sandra's glass that you guys gave me.
Does yours smell good too?
It does. It smells like maple, actually.
Oh.
But not like apple
Smells like-
pie.
But
Smells
not
like
like apple
sap.
pie. No, it just smells like maple syrup.
Sap.
So, okay, I'm gonna give you
That's
guys
pretty.
one guess what I'm drinking tonight. One guess is all you get.
Are you drinking iced whiskey?
It is iced. It's very cold whiskey with a little bit of lemon and some vanilla.
A little bit of lemon.
And vanilla.
Oh, and some
yeah.
lemon and vanilla. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like having whiskey and water, right? Like it's
Um,
pretty
yeah.
melted. So,
Well, the ice is very cold. The cup is very cold. It was in the freezer.
ooh.
Yeah. So it'll stay cool long enough.
Well, that's
Anyway.
very
Look at
cute.
that.
I like your little drink. I think it's
Thank you.
adorable.
So what are we doing tonight, real quick, before we drink, Sandra?
So tonight, as I said, is a sci-fi night. 2 of Caleb's picks. I don't know where he is in this hodgepodge of a screen, but Caleb there with the glasses, he picked 2 films. It was his turn, and he likes to do double features to torture us, apparently. And so he picked Rollerball and Logan's Run. But if you're playing a drinking game at home, I recommend trying to count how many times I'm going to call this movie Thunderball, because I like, I swear to God, in my notes, I even call it Thunderball. And I just, I can't. I'm sorry. So just go ha 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 and take a sip of your drink when I call it by the wrong name. But this is Rollerball
Roller.
and Logan's Run.
Excellent. Well,
So cheers.
cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers, friends.
friends. It feels like it's like a thick root beer. It's like a thick beverage. I don't hate it. Thick.
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 It's so thick. Hey, do you guys want to see who is joining us tonight?
Who the hell is out there?
Please.
Who our friends are?
Yeah. Let's do
Well,
this.
I'm going to try and create some adjectives without getting in trouble for it. So let's try
Create some adjectives.
the
Okay.
the luxurious hungry boys with us. in the chat.
Luxurious.
Luxurious.
He's very luxe.
He is
very
quite.
luxe.
We have going down further. We have the enormous Enoch with us.
And he's at Applebee's.
He's at Applebee's.
He's at the bees. So
Drinking some
everybody at
margs, he
Applebee's.
said. Drinking the
Everybody at
margs.
Applebee's is also listening to us. Hello, people of bees, Applebee's.
And we have the Maleficent Macy.
So I think what
with
you're
us.
doing, Neil, is actually an alliteration.
You're right.
But,
It is.
yeah,
It
it's-
wasn't meant to be that at first, but it got easier when I started doing it that way.
You're like,
So-
wait a minute. I see a simpler route. What I
I'm
want
like,
to
wait.
accomplish.
This is getting harder than I thought. Okay. Also with us is the Laura
Oh,
is with
yeah.
us.
Nailed
She
it.
could be the lovely Laura.
The only L I could think of I didn't think was going to be nice. I didn't, or whatever. So lovely, the lovely Laura.
Lovely. You're lovely.
That's a great one. That wasn't the
Very-
first thought that
very
Don't
came
lovely.
listen to
Laura.
this clown, this kangaroo clown. Don't
I know,
listen
I'm
to
sorry. We got totally rad Todd with us. From the
Todd!
209.
Toads.
him. Todd, do you have
Coach.
movie theaters yet, Todd?
Yeah, Todd, did your daughter get her job back at the old Regal Holiday 8?
We're over in Orange in our neck of the woods. We're orange.
I know we are orange. Thank freaking God. Mindy's with us as well. We got
Hey, Mindy.
wonderful Mindy. Mark
Yes.
Vision's Truth, all the way from East Washington.
Everybody
that's
should
gonna
just,
make-
if your name
What?
starts with an M, you're all marvelous.
You're all marvelous. Let's do that. Or Maleficent.
Magnificent.
We have the
baby.
Machiavellian Mark with us.
Oh, Machiavellian's
Ooh.
good. I like that.
Nice.
And then, yes, Mark, going down Todd. Kelly, we have Kelly with us today. Hello, Kelly.
Hello.
my scream queen.
Yes, we'll call her the Screamy and the Queenie, Kelly. And following Kelly, I know I saw Evan in here as well.
Hi, Evan.
The Effervescent.
I knew you. It's Effervescent Evan for science fiction. That's like his bag. He
Is that his
loves some
jam?
sci-fi.
Okay. That's
Well, I know
good to
you like a lot of movies, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Evan, I think you're like sci-fi is like your thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Pismo Mark as well. Pismo is with us.
Also, Machiavellian, marvelous.
Petulant.
Petulant.
Petulant. Petulant. What's the one you have to do the
Penitent.
Penitent.
penitent? Yes. Thank you. I'll get
Petulant's
there
different,
eventually. It's not a word that I say or do very often, so give me a break. I'm trying.
but you are petulant often. So
Okay, that's it. That's all we got right now.
more will come. More will
Yay.
come.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you,
for-
friends. And
Thank
for those
you for
who
being on
haven't,
time for class.
yes, and those who haven't chimed in yet, please go ahead and put your name in there so that I can make a really horrible
Chime.
rhyme and or adjective for you.
Yeah. Using the wrong words.
The wrong words. Yep.
Yeah. It's fine. We're all friends here.
We are. That's right. Whether we're loquacious or not.
Oh,
Again,
loquacious
first
is
word that just hit
good.
my brain. First word.
Loquacious is good.
Okay. Sandra, what did you
talk
do?
about what did we do? Okay, so new Genre Junkies episode is out where we talk about a great book. I loved it so much. It is called Horrorama, and it is 3 horror novelettes in one. And it's such a good time for the horror fan. The person who put it all together, her name is CV Hunt. This is her she owns this company, Grindhouse Press, and she made this because she was sad she couldn't go to her favorite like horror conventions in 2020. So she wanted to kind of capture that feeling of like a horrorama with 3 novelettes. And highly, highly enjoyable. Also have a new Spooky Slumber Party episode out. And we did a film called Come True, which is a new sci-fi horror film that's out. And we all we have some pretty funny things to say about that.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah, we sure do.
Good job.
Yeah.
I mean, on
I
the
started listening.
on the podcast, I wasn't saying good job on your
Thank you.
telling us what you were doing. So if you were still going,
I think I
please
did a good job
go.
with all of it, actually. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. I finished season 1 of Red Oaks, which was the comedy on Amazon. Neil had told me to
Oh,
watch.
y'all still doing that? Still doing
I really I enjoyed that. I also started watching. They also put up a new animated superhero show called Invincible.
I read all
but-
the books.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Mm.
It's very mature, I guess. It's not R-rated, but just a lot of gore and blood and guts and lots of names that you know from like The Walking Dead, and so yeah, and I'm enjoying that.
Oh, good. I'm excited to watch that one day. One day.
I think they only have like 4, maybe 5 episodes out so far. So yeah,
Cool.
there you go. If you like superheroes.
I do. I do.
Yeah, you two are the superhero people.
We're
This is
pretty
bloody
superheroes.
though. They're like beating the shit out of each other. And
Yeah, it's a
ripping-
little different.
ripping
Yeah.
heads
Oh.
off and pulling out spines and things. So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Love that. Love that. Love that journey for us.
Excellent. So again, I had one of those weeks again where I was busy doing a lot of stuff, not getting home till late, but I did have time yesterday to check out the latest Creep Show episode on Shudder.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say that Sandra, you need to watch it because your what is it, your number 1 or 2 hall pass, David Keith or Keith David? Which one do you like?
Keith David.
Keith David. Sorry. The
My
bug.
hero.
Yeah, Keith David is in one of the episodes, so you need to
Oh.
get on that
Shoot, I gotta go, guys. I'm gonna go right now.
Yeah.
What you had.
quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah, I'll just be watching it in the background. Just ignore me.
She can read during commercials and and watch movies while hosting shows.
I'm multi-talented.
Multi-talented tasker.
Many facets.
Otherwise, I wanted to just say real quick with regards to last week's episode where we did the dark comedies.
Yes.
There was one that we forgot to mention, which was Very Bad Things. Which
I
is
thought about that one actually.
Have you thought about it? You just didn't want
Yeah.
to bring it up?
I've never
Okay.
seen it, so
It
I
had been
didn't forget
so
to mention
long
it.
since I've seen that movie that I don't really remember it.
Got it. Well, it's
So we don't feel like we forgot anything, Neil.
okay. That's cool. I forgot to mention that it should be thrown in. It's just, hey, this is a dark comedy. Blah blah blah. Very Bad Thing, and that's it. So, but it is Cameron Diaz when she was younger and acting, and I think it was friends go to Vegas, accidentally kill a hooker, then bad things just get worse and worse from there,
Oh.
kind of deal.
It
So,
happens to all of us,
But
you know.
no, yeah, I mean, it's it's not gonna lie. I mean, it's just one of those things. But
Bad
back
things.
then, anyway, that's all. That is a one of those comedies you can chalk into that category.
There you go.
Perfect. I'll write it down. Write it.
Okay.
Take a note right now. Take a note.
And then I just wanted to say real quick that the video that Hungry did for us, remember he posted that video for our 1-year anniversary, kind of little celebration where
He
he
did,
sang
this
basically the whole
singing.
video. I
Yes.
just wanted to thank him, I guess, publicly for it because I know it took a lot of work to do that thing. So you guys, if you go check out Hungry Boy's channel, the
Yeah.
last thing he has on there is the video where he sang basically.
he basically had to clone himself
Yep.
to make an entire choir.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of work.
And thank you. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it. I love those things,
You're
man.
so sweet.
It was very nice. So thank you
Yeah.
again, Hungry. Sorry, I didn't say anything last week. So I was remiss.
So remiss.
Anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. I guess if you want, you can take us into the old this week in entertainment history.
Yay!
If you want, Scott. I mean, if you feel like it.
Scott. If you
I'm
yeah.
not going to force you to do it.
Okay. Did you guys know that April 6th, 1906, was the world premiere of the first animated cartoon?
1906, you say?
1906, yeah. And it was called The Humorous Phases of Funny Faces. Like a 3-minute long, kind of like person drew it on a chalkboard. Is kind of what it looks like. And then the face, they kind of come alive and move. But 1906, first animated cartoon.
Wow.
Yes. Let's see. April 6th, again, in 1931 was the broadcast premiere of Little Orphan Annie on the radio, on the NBC radio.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Radio dramas.
Radio
Radio
dramas.
dramas.
And April 6th, 1937, the birthday of Billy D. Williams. Sir Lando himself.
Love.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Would you like what's the name of the malt liquor that he did the commercials for?
Oh, is it Colt 45?
Was it? I don't remember. It should be though. That's good.
I can't remember. I don't know.
It is now.
Well, hello.
It was a long
Would
time
you
ago.
like to come sit next to me with my Colt 45? That's pretty
God.
good, right?
That was really, it was like Billy D was in the room.
Right there.
Spooky, 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 spooky.
Okay, 1955, April 6th. Michael Rooker was born. The lovely, the wonderful.
Hey.
I love him. He's one of my
Mary
favorites.
Poppins.
Henry
yeah.
himself.
One of my favorites.
All right, this one, Sandra, is for you. Caleb,
I thought Michael Rooker was for me. Okay.
No, that was for me and Caleb. You get this next one. On April 7th, 1986, WrestleMania 2. Hulk Hogan defeats who? Who does he defeat?
At WrestleMania 2, he
Yep.
defeats Andre the Giant.
No, keep trying.
Well, that was WrestleMania 1.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 2, is that Mr. T?
If I'm not quite. If I remember this right, the guy had a really hairy back. Maybe it had like the one-piece spandex. Or it kind of came over the shoulder. Anyway, it's King Kong Bundy.
Oh.
At
Not
least
one
that's
of
what
my favorites.
It's WrestleMania, baby. How could it not be?
But that's nice.
Even
Good
more
for you.
important.
I like
Even
how I
more
named like
important-
WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 4, WrestleMania, but not.
Not two.
Not two or three.
During this same WrestleMania, however, Mr. T defeated Roddy Piper in a boxing match.
Oh,
Oh.
yes.
Yes.
Like it. I
He's
like it
probably
a
like,
lot.
Boom, They Live is not a horror film. Boom. Punching him down.
No, I don't think Mr. T would be that disrespectful to say that it's not a horror film. Only really disrespectful people would say
No.
that.
Mr. T knows, man. He knows things. He pities a fool who doesn't think the way that I do. Okay.
Great.
April 7th, 1939, Francis Ford Coppola was born.
Local celebrity.
Francis, he lives like just a few miles from here. So
Just right over yonder.
right up the road.
Just
Making
a
that
few.
wine.
Also on April 7th, but in 1954, Jackie Chan celebrating a birthday. And of course, we all know the wonderful Kane Hodder had a birthday yesterday, born in 1955.
Right.
Yes,
Saw
he
a
did.
lot of people saluting him on social
Yeah.
media. Very sweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Two left. April 8th, 1986, Clint Eastwood assumes the mayoral position over Carmel.
What was that word?
Mayoral.
One more
It's
time.
it's a tricky
No, I
word.
can't.
That's a tricky word. That's like rural. Like rural. It's very hard.
Rural.
I thought you were gonna say 1986 he was born, and I was gonna be like, check that map.
Yeah, no, check that
Check
fact.
that map.
And finally, the world's greatest Doc Holliday, Dennis Quaid, celebrating a birthday, April 9th, 1954.
He has a band called Dennis Quaid and the Sharks. I saw them
He does have
once.
a band.
It was embarrassing for everybody.
Did you see it? You saw him?
Yeah, I was like, I think in middle school, and it was like at a festival or something, and like locally, and like I don't know, he had like no shoes on, and he was like trying to be like really like a really sexual beast of a man, and like all of
But he
the
is
soccer moms
trying.
in the audience were like, Danny, Danny, and they were losing their goddamn minds. And I remember my friend and I were just like, this is really bizarre. I just, how did we get here? How did we get here?
I think
But
Dennis
anyway,
Quaid he's a unmined resource, man. He's like, I think we could put him in our gas tanks and the world would be a better place. Is all I'm saying.
just divide him up among everybody.
Just take little cutlets of his hair, little snippings, and
yeah, just like propagate him.
Make little Dennis niblets everywhere.
Little niblet riblet. I do think he is a good actor.
I like
And,
him.
you know, I got to meet him once, really quick. You know, asked him if I could have a picture, and he was like, "Well, like I could tell he didn't want to do it, but we made him do it anyway." So
yeah, it's like, are you that busy, Denny? You that busy?
Was that the same year I got my picture?
probably, yeah.
Oh,
I think
that's a bummer.
he
I was like,
was there with his wife, and
yeah.
okay.
I went up to him just to say, hey, I wanted to tell him, like, I think you're way better than Val Kilmer, as is Doc Holliday.
As you like to, like you told Kevin Costner, like you like to tell people, like, hey, you're better. You're better than that other person.
When it comes to the Wyatt Earp lore, I want to point out who is the best. There's no boom. So,
no mistakes, no bones
no
about
mistaking it.
He tells everybody,
Yes, he's told
It's a
us
good thing I
multiple
haven't.
times.
I mean, I actually did, of course, meet our Lord and Savior Kurt Russell, and I did not say you were secondary to Kevin Costner.
That's probably a good thing.
He probably kicked my ass. I didn't want to do that.
We would be smote, and we would not be allowed in heaven.
Yes,
so
he would not have posed for the picture had I had said that probably. So,
yeah.
But anyway, that's it. That is all there is for this week.
That's all that happened.
In entertainment history.
Yep.
All right. So, Sandra, can I toss? No. New subscribers, huh?
We got one.
New subscriber alert, by the way. Tim Pitsakis.
Hi, Tim.
Pitsakis.
Hi, Tim.
Like a fellow Greek like me.
Like me. Don't you have to say like umpa? Don't you have to say umpa?
Opa.
There you go.
And then I have to break a glass and some plates.
Yeah.
And go shear a sheep or something.
Oh my God. I would pay good money to watch you try to shear a sheep. I'd pay good money.
Good money.
Good money.
Yeah.
What's good money?
Like $5.
Oh, good money. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
£5 note.
Takes 10 usually to get me out of bed, Sandra. Takes 10.
But for sheep.
That's true. For sheep, I'm already in bed, baby.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. I love sheep. How dare you besmirch? How dare you besmirch the sheep?
Or sheep.
I'm not
Or
very
sheep.
smirching.
I'm sharing my love.
These are just called jokes, people. These are jokes. Okay.
It's a joke. Which movie we're talking about first? Logan's Run?
Yes, Logan.
Let's talk about Logan's Run. All right, here we are. Sci-fi spectacular extravaganza, brought to you by the fine people at Caleb. That's our sponsor for today's episode, Caleb.
Yes. I paid $5.
You did.
Good money.
He said, "Hey, just mention me in the opening when Jenny slipped me a Lincoln." Okay, Logan's Run. This was a little film from 1976, directed by Michael Anderson. It was written by David Zelig Goodman, based on a novel which none of us have read, by William F. Nolan and George Clayton Johnson. These are all very interesting names. Okay, so the premise of Logan's Run. You ready?
Ready.
Do it.
In the year 2274, the last group of humans live a fun and festive little lifestyle in a sealed-in city. The only catch is that you have to die when you're 30. Wah, wah, wah. That's a big bummer. Also worth noting, some people are British, some people are not, and this is set in America. Spoiler alert. This combined with the other film that we're going to talk about tonight is about 5 fucking hours of viewing. It's a long time. It's a long movie. They're both really long.
Okay, Caleb.
Caleb,
Follow
why
that.
Logan's Run? Caleb, why Logan's Run?
Both of these movies, I mean, I've talked before about growing up without TV, so both of these I saw at friends' houses during the, Saturday matinee on NBC or, whatever it was called back then. And they really stuck with me. And I've thought about them off and on ever since. And I'm guessing I was somewhere between the ages like 8 and 10. I have not seen them since. So this was like the first time. So certain things stuck out.
I can only imagine. Oh, I have notes.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Logan's Run, visually, I felt was impressive. I really liked the models that they used. I liked
good models.
The wire for carousel where the 30-year-olds have to go, off
they
themselves.
Get renewed.
Was very cool. The movie, I do like it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. There's some problems, but this was made in the 70s. I mean, it came out on June 23rd, 1976. So
summer blockbuster.
Remember that date, by the way. That might come up later, possibly. So it's what is that? 45 years old this June, I think. My math is correct. Something like that. Anyway. I did like it. I had fun. It wasn't everything that I remembered it as, though. So.
That's beautiful. Neil?
Sandra? Yes.
What thoughts?
My thoughts are probably similar to Caleb. It definitely has got some great set pieces, costume design, great ideas for sure. Whether or not they all perfectly come together these days, still, obviously, I'm sure we will tear apart wonderfully.
In the most fun of ways.
Absolutely. But
we will have a good time doing it.
I like to try and think of sometimes when you're watching this film as a person in 1976, like how it would have seen then and how it would have affected you. And I can see it being more, what's the word I'm looking for? Impactful, I guess, in what that is they're trying to say and, what's going on versus when I'm looking at it just going, well, that's like a model and that's like, like that, all that kind of stuff, I can see the strings, all kinds of things.
Right. See the strings.
Whatever. But anyway, but still, it's, I think everyone who loves movies has to watch this film at least one time because it is a cult film for sure, and it has some themes that are worth talking about, and I mean, it's got some good actors. So
it has a really great cast. I love Michael York; he's amazing, and we've already talked about how much we love what's her name, who's in American Werewolf in London and
Jenny
other things.
Agutter. Yeah,
thank you. I could not remember. I did not write it down. So I agree. I saw this, I know I didn't sit through the whole thing, but when I was like a tween, because I remember the carousel, and I remember because Kayla and I were talking about it, and I'm like, it's with the people in the whoop, whoop, whoop. But I think it's strange because it wants to be an epic so badly, and it's just not quite there. But I do think it is a fun movie and an enjoyable movie for sure. I think we're all on the same page with the the retrofuturism, which is all about beautiful colors and design, and like all of that is really fun. Good actors, though. My God, some of those Farrah Fawcett line readings were. I mean, rest in power, girl, but it was just a little rough, Some of the acting's a little uneven, and some of the line stuff is a little uneven. But I have things to say. I have things to share. Shall we just dive in?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Let's
Head
do
first.
It.
I love the title card at the beginning. It's like, okay, we got some good news and some bad news. Sit down. It's okay. I mean, pretty early on, it's established what carousel is, and this society is very kind of ignorant. They live like this very hedonistic sort of lifestyle, and they're kind of sheltered and naive. Basically, like these computer programs kind of run everything, and they just kind of sit back and just kind of enjoy the ride.
Have a good time.
Yeah. And they don't question it, and it's like weird to question things and bad. And so carousel is a freaking trip. It is a trip, you guys. Like watching the carousel scenes. So first of all, I thought they looked like the Shy Guys from Super Mario Brothers. The little masks.
Oh yeah, with the thing.
I got Shy Guy vibes. They look creepy as fuck, and they're in these like long white robes, and then they like take them off, and they have like these red and white jumpsuits, and then you start to like float up in the air, and the things are spinning, and you explode, and everybody's like cheering, like yay, renew, and they're like pointing at their friends, and they're all doing the most hilarious fist pumping I've ever seen in my life. It's like this very like limp wristed there he goes, and it's like, okay, that's fine. But the point is, everybody thinks it's just great fun. Never mind the fact that it's like, how did they get renewed?
Right.
Crickets, because you don't. You're getting killed. But they just blindly accept that you go through some process called renewal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're raised to not really ask questions anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, someone says something about, don't you want to know the seed mothers, which is the people you impregnate that they then, I guess, take the baby out and then it's grown, and they're like, no, so like you said, like you don't ask questions, you're just sort of told things and they just kind of believe it,
I think
they are very naive, as you said earlier.
I think it would be interesting to see some of the grittier sides of their world, like the things that happen to the seed mothers and, kind of these other kind of people who are kind of on the fringes of their society. I think that would have been kind of cool to explore. You get that a little bit with some of the runners, but I don't know, because it's like there's clearly kind of people that are a little bit more have and have not, even in this like utopian society. So I would have liked to see that gritty underbelly. So Logan, our hero, he is a sandman, and he shoots runners. That's the whole thing he does. And he and his friend look hilarious when they shoot people. Yes, Neil.
I just wanted to say, when you say he shoots runners, I wanted to say poorly. He shoots them very poorly.
Very poorly. He gets better as the movie goes on, but like he can outline an entire person and not hit. And like
on accident though.
They have these goofy smiles, and they're just like like blowing people away or trying.
Weird.
So when Logan and Francis, which is played by Richard Jordan, who will always to me be Michael J. Fox's uncle in The Secret of My Success. But
okay.
When they are both trying to shoot this runner, and they're just completely missing, but like just having such a good time, you kind of wonder, like, are they missing on purpose because they just like doing this? Or are they just horrible shots? And those guns were like crazy anyway, where they kind of have to like hold it real still, and then like the effect goes off in the end, and
there's like a delay.
See like the fuse light go down.
It's oh my gosh, it's so funny. And speaking of the runners, so Michael York was 34 when he made this, and a lot of people be looking over 30.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hilariously, some of them I'm like, you're like 40 if you're a day. But
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, also, did I miss it? Or did they address, maybe they do in the book, but I don't know if I missed it in the film. Everybody's white? Like, did they address that?
They
Like,
never addressed it, but yeah,
I wonder if it's in the
everybody is.
book. Yeah, because this is obviously some kind of a creepy eugenics situation anyway. So it's not like shocking that everybody would like, they just decided to make everybody be like one ethnicity. But it's just kind of like, yeah, pretty noticeable.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fairly Lily. It was pretty Lily.
Yeah.
So I the love shop. The
Oh,
love
yes.
shop.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
love shop is just a drugged up slow motion orgy room.
That's what I have down in
Yeah.
my notes.
I thought it, and we're gonna circle back to the love shop because I have some concerns, but it's towards the end. But that was, you know, and it's like got that music that like like sort of vibe. There's a lot of crazy, weird, interesting music throughout this film.
Yes. I would agree
You
with
know,
you
I
on that.
enjoy the music.
Oh,
I
it
kind of liked
fits.
it.
It fits tonally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it uses all that great retro future sounds and music
Yeah.
that we think is going to exist at that
Yes.
point.
Right.
For some
Right,
reason,
right.
all sound is going to be, you know,
Oops. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
It's
Beeps
gonna
and
be
boops, basically.
R2D2 everywhere. Yep.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
what happens to sound? Why is it all just beeps and boops? Is the oxygen thinner? What's going on?
What's going on with this?
Where's the melody? Where's
They're like, no,
There's no
just
hook.
beeps and boops. Just
all you
beeps and
get.
boops. Yeah, no,
That's it.
you don't need lyrics either. One line that I wrote down that I love. So remember, this is like it's a utopian society, sort of. Says something along the lines of that humans used to breed animals to eat. Must have been a savage world. And I wrote, lol, right?
I thought of you immediately when
Yeah.
that line came up too.
Yeah.
So.
I was like, I hear you, kids.
I know, Sandra.
Preaching to the choir.
She stood up and she like Phantom
I
mic
fist
dropped.
Yeah, I did.
You know, walked away.
Well, I kind of Michael York. So we love Michael York, right? We all love Michael York.
Why not?
Yeah, he's great.
I love him. I love
Yeah.
Cabaret and other things he's been in. I think he's great, but I think it was kind of fun to see him in this role. He's kind of got some Luke Skywalker hair a little bit, but he's also kind of doing his own thing. I really liked his his sex robe that he wore, like when he like, you know, it had like a really drapey sleeve. Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was nice. The Sandman gets to wear black.
I read somewhere that he still has that.
I would bust that thing out constantly if I was him.
But,
Be like, just going out to the store. Be right back. Let me put on my sex robe.
So he's wearing that robe, and then they have like their future version of Tinder of like swipe right or swipe left.
Yes.
Which I thought was amazing. Like
me too. That was like somebody saw that and then they made Tinder later. Let me Grindr Tinder.
Okay,
yep.
So the first person that like teleports to his room is male.
Yeah.
And he just kind of says like, you know,
it's not feeling today.
No, thank you. You know, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's no judgment. There's no, and I thought that was really cool. You know, that
me
was
too.
like,
progressive for the
awesome.
time. Yeah.
But I was thinking, if you can teleport someone to your bedroom, couldn't you like set like a filter to say,
yeah, right?
Kind of what you want, kind of what you're
what gender
for,
you want this evening, hair color, eye color. Yeah, no, I mean, because otherwise you're gonna have to go through a lot. But maybe that's kind of the point, is that they are not very picky.
Maybe, or, just whatever you're feeling that evening,
Yeah, and you can
So,
change your face and your body up all the time. I
yes, you
mean, from
can.
a
Yes, you
from a
can.
preset number of things. That also seems to be something people of the past were very concerned about, that we would all be able to swap our faces like super easily, like with just the touch of a button.
Well, like a touch of a button, or that you could just completely alter everything about you, your bone structure, and like how many
Yeah.
times in a movie, like in a James Bond movie, like, oh, he got a facelift and is now this completely different
Yes.
person. You're like,
Right.
don't work that way.
It
Sorry.
was a big concern. It was a big concern in the past. It was like, well, we're going to lose our humanity. We'll be switching faces left, right, and center. And it's like, yeah, it didn't end up actually. Don't know if we're going to be quite there yet. Well, we'll see if there's a planet left by that time anyway. Um, I'm kind of skipping around like crazy. So please jump in because I'm going to kind of jump to like the center of the film with my next note.
Well, you can introduce real quick Jenny Agutter with the scene with the swiping left and right.
Oh yeah, so he's
'Cause
like, you'll do. And
you'll work.
she's like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. And he kind of like tries again, like, I got my sex robot. And
Look at my sleeve.
look at my sleeve, my dear. Look
But
at
why?
this
So why is she in there if she
V.
wasn't? Why is she in the
Well,
rotation if she wasn't?
so when she says no, thank you, he
Yeah.
says, are you a lesbian? Again,
Yeah.
no judgment.
No
just
judgment,
sort of
like, oh yeah, yeah.
just, oh, okay, And she says, I was lonely. I made a mistake. I'm gonna go home now.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
And
she was
he's like,
just
you
looking
sure?
for,
Yeah.
she just wanted to be held. She wanted a connection. She
She
wanted.
wanted a connection. And then she got a Sandman, which then she's like, I just kind of want to look around because the Sandmen they're kind of they're a prestigious class in their city. And he's like, oh, we're very humble creatures. We just have group sex like everyone else. And kind of like shows her around his like fancy dwelling. She's got a cool Ankh necklace on, which turns out that's like their symbol of the people that don't want to die when they're 30. And she's like trying to explain to him, like, hey, don't you think it like sucks? And he's like, no, it's fun. You shoot them with a blaster and it's great. Oh, everybody gets a little gem in their hand, in their palm.
They do.
Kind of like a Norphin troll, how they have it in their bellies, they have them in their hands. And it goes flashy red when you're getting real close to being 230 here. And then it goes like black, doesn't it?
Yes, it
Yeah.
turns black. So in the book, you had to die at 21.
Fuck! Oh my god.
Yeah. But they changed it to 30 to make casting a bit
little
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a bigger pool to draw from if you included 30-year-olds, which then meant 35, 38-year-olds.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that is really funny. So he's supposed to, be like bringing her in, but he kind of falls for her, and the computer kind of screws him over too because he's like, but it's like I'm not really gonna die, and the computer's like, offline, error 404, page not found. So that kind of makes him be like, I don't know about this, and start to question the society and plus her influence, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and she's like, she's very idealistic. And for this group of people, she's a big thinker. And you have to admire that she opens his heart and his mind a bit. I do like that. She does a lot of, apparently she can't run unless she's holding his hand. She's physically incapable. And a lot
Yes.
of, kind of like damsel like poses. But at the same time, she's not bad. She didn't really annoy me. I like her a lot. I like them, like the two of them.
Like some of those 70s stereotypes were still in the movie,
For sure.
I mean, you probably noticed that all the Sandmen were men.
All men.
Right. So
Yep. With their goofy smiles shooting at people.
There were some good progressive things that they did, but then there were also some,
some 70s
funky 70s things that they kept in there.
Real funky.
Not ready for that.
Like they were like, whoa, hold your horses, women. I don't think so. Put on your red or green jumpsuit and just sit down.
You're lucky if it was a jumpsuit. It might have just been a free-flowing kind of
with like
all
a
your
belt.
pieces dangle,
Yeah. You get like a swatch of fabric and a belt. And then some people had on like straight up pantsuits, and it's like, okay, whatever. If you like gyms and fitness clubs, you'll love this world. There's one on every corner, and people can do all kinds of flips and stuff, and that's neat.
Yes.
I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Logan likes to go watch the babies be hatched.
Yeah, which is interesting because Francis gives him a lot of shit for that,
Right.
saying like, why do you even care? Like, you're just, you're not supposed to be doing that. Like, just, and then they start like banging on the window and the kids start crying.
Because they like don't know, because they're like so naive, I guess. But yeah, that kind of like hints to us that Logan's maybe got a little, these shallow waters run deep, it could happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm jumping way ahead. Logan's on the run. The name of the movie is Logan's Run. Look at that. Can someone explain Box to me? I feel like I fucking fell asleep or something, and I woke up and suddenly there's Box and very, very shiny robot that looks like the top of a Jiffy Pop. And like his face, like his mouth hole is like the top of a Jiffy Pop too. Like it's really kind of like bloop, bloop, bloop. Kind of flimsy. Why was he freezing people? What the fuck did I miss?
Okay, so I said I watched this as a kid, right? Yes. I always took it as he was like a cyborg. Like started out as because he says, and I quote, more than machine, more than man, more than God, I can't read my writing. But why is he keeping the food? Who is he keeping it for? Is he keeping it for himself? Is he, and I always thought that's why I always thought he was a cyborg, because he was keeping it for himself and he was eating it. But now watching it this time, I'm like, I think I might be a little off base here, but I don't know what he is. And again, only person of color is the voice actor that did
the voice of the robot.
The voice of Box.
Okay, so now I have a new theory. I think he just takes the food and he empties it and he throws it on the ground and he just rolls over it a whole bunch of times so nobody can eat it. And it's just ground into the ice. Yeah, I feel like that was something that maybe ended up on the cutting room floor where they explained more about why Box is there. What is he doing? Why is there an ice age? Why is there naked frozen people? Like, I guess those are runners that like they tried to escape, and then Box said, no, not here. And
can I give you one theory?
Help me, Neil.
Okay. Box is the supreme being of that world. He's the one controlling the computers. So he's
Box?
like, yeah, Box is the guy, the ultimate dude now. And the people who come through that manage to escape, he freezes because he's going to start a Soylent Green factory. And he wants to start making his Soylent Green.
Yeah.
So he can, get
He's got to have human meat for that.
Yeah. Right. So I'm thinking, and he'll get Carlton Heston involved. And then
he's
like, this is going to work.
This is a business plan. Sure.
And then he'll open Arby's and you're all good to go. So
Boxes, Arby's. That's where Arby's comes from, kids. I love Box. I even said I love him. He might be the best part of the film. He has an evil laugh and arm guns.
No, I thought he was great. His arms were like made out of venting.
They're made out of the metal vent stuff.
Yeah,
it was like Lost in Space kind of meets Jiffy Pop.
Meets the back of a dryer.
And then now, do we think he actually had any human parts, or was he purely mechanical?
No, that's what I don't
Um,
know. I mean, I
Because
thought as a kid,
he
I
looks
thought
fleshy in there.
you can see the
had,
mouth. You can see
yeah,
his mouth. Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I think that's where that idea came from anyway.
Right.
But watching it now,
Oh my God.
I'm really not sure. I don't
And now
know.
all these like adult years later, you're like, oh my gosh, little Caleb. No, that's just a weird. You can just see the person because it's not
Yeah.
glued down properly.
Right. Yeah. It was just a bad effect. But, you know,
Oh my
you're
God.
like,
Oh my God.
my
I'm so glad you
childhood
guys
was a
are.
lie.
I'm so
So I
glad
don't
you
think.
guys were confounded by Box also.
Well, I don't think Todd liked my theory. He told me to have another drink, so I think he's dismissing my theory. But
Well, you know
oh
what,
well.
Todd? What's your theory,
I
sir?
tried, Todd.
Todd, I love you, but we're going to need a counter argument here because
That's it.
right now that's what we're going with.
Yeah. You can't
His
just say
daughter
no.
blacklisted
say
from the
no.
industry. Blacklisted.
Todd, the rule is yes and. So come on now. Okay, so he's freezing people. Let's get to what really matters in this movie. Cats.
Cats, yes.
I love cats. Neil loves cats. So the fact that there was like a sea of cats and all these books, I was like, I'm in heaven.
I know,
Like,
right? Books and cats.
Not a
Boots and
problem.
cats and boots and cats.
And there's like, you live out in the forest and it's all pretty. I mean, that's fucking paradise. I'm fine with it.
I wrote old man talking about cats is Neil and Sandra.
Yes, it does. It does. It does.
Except when they had that fight when Francis comes, that one cat gets tossed.
Yeah.
You see when they threw
Yeah.
someone threw
Yeah.
someone into the table and that cat went flying. I was like, oh,
I saw that
cat
too. I was
got-
like, fuck. Yeah,
I know.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that one bit.
So all the things all those little rhymes or whatever he was talking about, that's it's from Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot. If you want to go get some of his quotes.
He calls them jellicle cats and stuff, just like what Cats, the musical, is based off of. Is that? Yeah.
Oh.
I thought that was cute. Everybody loves the old man. He's positively adorable. I mean, he would probably get on your nerves after a while, but
that was Peter Ustinov?
Yes.
Caleb,
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
He's had a way about him, just the way he kind of talked, you know what I mean?
He had a charisma. Yeah.
He did, but at the same time, like he would just be like your uncle, you know, Ned or whatever kind of guy. Just had that kind of that
my Uncle Neil
way.
Oh, see, I felt he had sort of like a childhood innocence about him.
Yes,
that he never grew out of, you know, because
he's only human.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, he's got no one else around him. His parents have died, you know, and who knows how long ago, you know, who knows how long ago that was. So maybe he just never progressed, you know?
I think so. And it's sad. Like, I mean, because both groups of people are sad, right? Because you feel bad for him and how he's, you know, kind of lost it a little bit and been so lonely, and then you feel bad for the dumb little baby people that live in the city. Like you can really see why we need everybody together. I do think it's cute when what's her name? What's the girl's name?
Jenny
from the block. Jessica. Naming her all the wrong things. When she wants to touch his face and she's like, oh, does it hurt? Like the cracks in there. And then it's like, it's kind of cute, but it's also kind of weird when they're like, do you want some young people? Follow us for young people. I don't know. Kind of came off a little weird for me, but I get the point. He wants to see people in general. They just all happen to be young.
Yep. And then they take him out of his home. Like, okay, let's go on this wonderful trek together and we'll take you to meet new people. And then they get to the point where like, okay, we're going to leave you here now by yourself, and we're just going to go all the rest of the way. Bye.
And I'm like,
we'll come back if we can.
And I'm like, he's not going to remember how to get back to his home. I'm like, I thought that was kind of fucked too.
Yeah.
And even before that, poor Francis, he goes a little mad there at the end. He's like, he just cannot handle shit. He cannot handle it. He like tracked them through the woods with a cunning I didn't know Francis possessed. But
And you guys
Yeah,
got
I also didn't know that getting hit across the back with a flag a couple times would kill you, but
That will kill you, Caleb.
you know,
I
Yes.
was
Well, if you
gonna
get
say
hit in the
that.
back, you
Yeah,
can stop your
sorry.
heart. Sorry.
that was my thought too. It was like, wow, but he died. He's really fragile. You come to find out.
Apparently,
But you know what?
3
That would make
whacks.
sense is that the people might not be very thrifty. Like
That's
if they're
true.
just, kind of made and like, aren't some people made in tubes and some people are made in humans? Or is it all made in a tube?
I don't recall.
I don't know. I don't even
Because
know. I don't even know that they address
because
that,
they're like
really.
asking when they're asking the old man, they say like, "Oh, did she like grow like in her body?"
Mm.
So I
Right.
don't know.
So maybe they know how it works. They just
Theoretically, yeah.
right,
But Box just won't let them do that
yeah.
because Box is supreme leader.
He's supreme leader. God dang it.
But if he's
Free-
supreme leader and they kill him, wouldn't it all shut down after that?
Well,
Or
they
is
kind
it
of they're
just
like
running on reserve power at this point?
it's running on reserve power. Perfect. Yes, it's running on a little residual energy. And then when they start kind of shooting at everything and crashing it down. But before that, so they thought it was their big plan was to run screaming into the middle of the
Yes.
town and being like, "It's all a lie." And it's like, well, yeah, that didn't work.
No, it didn't. It's coming in.
Maybe
There's
on
no renewal.
maybe on that long journey, they could have come up with like a plan.
A plan,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead, they just bust in, and everybody's like, "The fuck is this?" And then the Sandman pop out, surprising no one.
Yeah. No, you got a very good point. They probably could have come up with a better idea.
Oh, I said I love Jessica, but apparently she isn't capable of firing a blaster thingy. Like anytime she tries, he's like, "Hand it over, little woman. Your hands are too small for this blaster of mine." Oh,
Yeah.
remember I said I wanted to go back to the love shop?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, first of all, I feel really badly because I don't think when they were like crashing the whole system, I don't think they got the people in the love shop out. Because they're like
You
these
think they're still there?
they're having their writhing slow motion orgy, and I don't think anybody went and got them.
They're probably like super high on something, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe
The Altoids from
It's
the next
very
movie that
possible.
we're going to talk about. And yeah, and like I felt really bad. I was like, I don't think anybody went and got them, and I don't think anybody went and got the feral children, and I don't think anybody went and got the babies, and I don't know. I just thought about them. I just thought about them. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. Those were
The whole
messed
thing
up.
didn't blow up, did it? Wasn't it just the one building? Or did like the
I
whole
don't-
thing just do an 80s blow up?
it's
This was the
ambiguous.
first.
It's an
Yeah.
ambiguous explosion.
It is.
It could
Yeah.
have taken everything. It could have only taken like a
Something.
section.
I
But
also
the feral
think,
children is, that's another thing. Is like,
yeah.
who are they? Where are they
the
coming
fuck are
from?
they? They call them the Cubs and stuff.
They
and-
call them Cubs, but I want to know more about them and why they're there and why they aren't,
Yes,
with the
that's
rest
what
of
I'm
them
saying.
enjoying utopia.
Yeah, these people who are kind of on the fringes of their society, kind of this like dark part of it. I want to know about that dark little crispy little belly that they have going on there. I hope they didn't destroy the whole city because that water powered energy thing they're using, that was pretty cool. And I don't think they're ready to replicate that. But I think that was like kind of the point, is to destroy all the technology and stuff so that they have to learn and they have to rebuild with their own hands. And
Right.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
all of that, a lot or most of that was filmed in either Dallas or Houston, I read.
I saw that in the credits.
Yeah.
Really?
And then some stuff in LA, at the MGM studios or whatever. But so yeah, a lot of those were real places, real malls, I forget the name of the water place, but
Wow.
yeah.
It's really pretty. A lot
is
of where
pretty,
they filmed was super pretty. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of my 2 cents, is like, I don't know that I'm going to watch Logan's Run again anytime soon, but I had a good ride. I had a good time. It did feel a little forced in its, epic thing, but I'm curious enough that I would like to read the book for sure and see if I can find out more of this missing pieces.
Yeah. I
Okay.
remember in the 2000s they were talking about remaking it with Leonardo DiCaprio, but
Oh,
obviously did
Leo.
not happen.
No.
The one last
could
note that I
remake
had on here
Yeah.
was that when they do escape and when they find Peter Ustinov, he's in Washington D.C. That's all grown
Yes.
over, and
I
they
told
see
you,
Abraham
spoiler alert.
Lincoln, the whole Lincoln's
Lincoln Memorial.
memorial, and then they go to the Capitol. I think they went into the Capitol. That's where he was living, right? Was
Yeah,
it
that's
somewhere
where
in the
he-
Capitol
yeah.
building.
That's where old man was living. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
So-
Did they storm the Capitol?
But I was thinking when they were walking out and you just see all of DC, I was like, man, this place looks like freaking Jordy Verrillville just kind of grew over everything. Like,
Yes.
meteorite came down and had a little
I'm gonna touch on my
growing
lips.
going on. So it kind of
Touch on my
reminded me
lips.
of
Don't mind me.
touching your lips.
And I love when nature takes over the human made world. So I'm just all about that. Again, I just want to live with the cats in the books and be happy, man. I think that's
Yes.
the moral of the story for me.
All right. So
All
Logan's
right.
Run. We like it.
Logan's Run. Yeah, like
We
it.
like
It's
it.
worth a watch.
It's a
good
It's
time.
fun.
You'll have a good time.
You have a
The
good
Cold
time.
Show says you'll have a good time.
There you go.
All right.
Let's talk about
Conversely, what's
Rollerball.
next?
Rollerball, not
Roller.
Thunderball. Rollerball. Okay.
Oh, I took that preemptive sip.
Oh,
You know
it'll
it.
happen. Okay. Rollerball, 1975. Director Norman Jewison, writer William Harrison, based on a story by William Harrison. So this is based on, I think it was a short.
It was a short published in Esquire magazine.
There you have it. All right. So remember, this is 1975. In the future, 2018, society is run by corporations instead of countries. Everyone's obsession is a sport called rollerball, and their hero is Jonathan E. of Houston Energy Team. So, Jonathan, everybody loves him. The corporations, they don't like individuality, so they want to get rid of him. First off, just right off the bat, the premise just like it's a little funny, right? Because we know in human history, what happens when you have sports teams is people always find the leader, the captain of the team, the quarterback, the franchise player, and they start to become obsessed with them and they love them. So these corporations, thinking they're killing individuality and sating man's bloodlust by making this sport, and it's like, you guys knew exactly what was going to happen. It's exactly what had happened all the time in human history, is that the individual was going to emerge because you put them in a high pressure stress environment like the cult show, and somebody has to like emerge as the victor and the leader of the people. So right away, I just thought it was a little funny. I was just like, feel like there's something a little sus about the premise here, but
Okay.
fuck it. Okay. Rollerball, Thunderball, let's go.
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
No, I'm Team Japan.
I love that. Oh my God. Just wait till we talk about Team Japan. Tokyo, I have feelings.
Or Tokyo.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. I really like James Caan. I really do. I like a lot of his movies. He's my favorite character in The Godfather, Sonny, Misery, so many great roles. This is not going to go down as my favorite. I did not hate this movie by any means. Again, I had a pretty good time, but I also just spent a lot of time kind of yelling, like how I just did, like ranting about the premise. And I just spent a lot of time talking to my screen and being like, what the fuck? Like constantly. But yeah, That's how I feel about that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah,
go ahead.
again, like 8 to 10-year-old me, like remembered like all the action.
Yes, yeah. Oh, which is great. The action's great. Yeah.
Some weird, that gun that they have. I remember that. Like, oh, let's go blow up some trees with one shot. But all the talking, which there's a lot of, did not remember much of that. So
these movies are long, Caleb. You picked long ass movies for us.
I did not look at running times. So you helped me pick these, by the way. So
I did, because I want to encourage you.
To blame.
I encourage your growth and your beauty, Caleb. So I'm always going to support you in this. What was your thoughts, Neil?
Well, I wanted to start with Norman Jewison, who, I mean, he's done some pretty impressive films.
He's a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of, to me, it's kind of funny. I'd never seen this film, so it was kind of funny you watch this and you see Norman Jewison, considering, like, In the Heat of the Night and Fiddler on the Roof, Agnes of God, Moonstruck, even, kind of stuff. And then you see this film. I mean, but at the same time, I know he was going for going for a really deep thing here.
He sure was.
That they were trying to get, and it just, again, maybe in 1975, people were like, "Whoa, oh my God!"
Right.
But I mean, at this point in our lives, between living through a pandemics and Donald Trump and freaking, whatever else, aerobics, Harry Potter, whatever you want to call it.
So much shit.
Like, there's so much shit that this movie it's pretty ridiculous. So
I will say, like, in some countries, corporations do own sports teams, and arguably they do in every country, including ours.
Right.
And there's something about that premise, that part of the premise, that I find interesting, that it's less about countries and it's more about corporations. And at one point, his old coach is reminiscing about when there used to be 3 nations before it was all corporations. So it's like there's been a lot to get us to this point, which, again, I think that's more interesting is what we're missing, like, to get us here.
Yeah.
The most jarring thing about this film, and I mean, you guys, fucking soundtrack. It is literally Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor.
I mean, that's the opening shot.
And the ending music. And all of the, like, music throughout it is that this sweeping organ music, and it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Is it though?
Yes, it's very bizarre.
I thought it was just very, like, okay, he's just taking a page out of Kubrick, with, like, the shots that he does, the close-ups, and then using classical music as a soundtrack to make it timeless.
It does not fit with the because kind of high testosterone of this film.
The end of the movie ends on there's a fly, sorry. But it ends on James Caan, like, in the still shot or whatever, right? And you expect to have music like, he's the best around. And instead you got
and instead it's exactly. Instead it's fucking Dracula, and it's like it's and I saw some, I didn't look too deep into it, but I saw some people, critics back in the day, they said that, like, they kind of called this, like, the pretzel and beer version of Kubrick, and, like, kind of insulting, and I don't really like that, because I don't really like this kind of, like highbrow versus lowbrow, working class versus elite, like, sci-fi. I think that's kind of gross. But I when you said Kubrick, though, I'm like, well, okay, there's some truth in it then. There's some truth in what people, kind of
I think that was just sort of the thing, the go-to,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I called their little happy pills, their drugs, their Altoids.
They're Altoids. Because they never seem to do anything. Like,
they're supposed to, like, they seem kind of Quaalude-ish. but also a little bit
I think
aphrodisiac.
one time they take them, like you see them sort of like go like, but all the other time they're just like popping them and nothing really seems
Yeah.
to happen, you know?
And I think that was supposed to be a little bit more of a bigger point they should have leaned into of, people being kind of in this constant drugged out state of ennui, basically. And then like Rollerball is the only time when they get to be, like kind of bloodthirsty and passionate. I think that's kind of where we were going, but we didn't get there.
And that might kind of make sense because I felt like whenever James Caan was talking to like any of the executives, he kind of like just sort of mumbled his lines.
Yeah.
And the only time he seemed to get really passionate about anything was when he was trying to teach the new recruits about how they play rollerball in Houston.
Yeah.
And
over here at Houston Energy.
Then he becomes animated.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's the only thing that he derives pleasure from.
And I think there is something to that because it's like, these constant kind of stream of girlfriends and he even says like, I want to see my ex-wife just to know if I still feel anything anymore. And and I don't because I think they're just kind of floating through it all. You're supposed to be just kind of very expendable to the corporation.
Right.
I mean,
well, and speaking of the girlfriends, I mean, like he does not seem to give two shits one way or the other about,
no,
I mean,
it's
the
very,
first one says like, we've been together 6 months. Weren't you even going to say goodbye?
Right.
Yeah.
He's just kind of used to that. This is how it is, It probably used to affect him. It probably used to make him sad, but now it's just, it's part of the gig, part of the game. Before we go further, I just have to say I really fucking hate Moon Pie. No offense to the actor, he's a great actor. I hate this fucking character. He is the most sexist of all of them, which is saying something. He is also racist and really annoying. I I was done with Moon Pie. I was fucking done with him. And I was real happy when he ends up in a coma. I was really hoping Tokyo was going to rip his fucking head off and spike it through the goal thing. Little sad when that didn't happen. He just got jumped and it was like, okay, I could have used a little bit more, but it's fine. That
You got a punch the back of the head.
Moon Pie is
a Moon
not
Pie
gonna
punch.
be Moon Pie punch. He's not gonna be on my Christmas card list. He's not gonna be on my Halloween card list this year. Moon Pie, you get nothing.
Or Moon Pie.
Yeah, he's gross. Didn't care much for the treatment of women in general in the film. Didn't love that. They're kind of secretaries and girlfriends, and they're not very well regarded in this corporate society, which I guess could be kind of a reflection of, women weren't, we didn't have the big breakthrough like happened in the 80s with women in corporations yet. Mm-hmm. So they were probably just like, well, there wouldn't be a woman running the corporation. That's poppycock. That could never happen.
There was one.
There's one good one in there.
Perhaps that was a statement they were making, though.
That's what I'm saying. Is I think that's they were like, it's not gonna. Yeah,
but I mean, all the rest of the women, they were all super tall, thin, good looking. I mean, if there is a good point to all of this, at least they all weren't white. They, they did not seem to care, about that. And even the executives weren't all white.
That's true. The players weren't all white.
But one of the women at one point referred to their job as like an assignment, like they're just sort of like moved, from one executive to another, whoever wants them or doesn't want them or
sucks.
That's a little gross.
Yeah. It is, and I mean, and I get that's the point, right? Like, it's the point.
Right.
Mm, but I'm glad you brought that up because there's one part of this movie I just really hated, made me super uncomfortable, and that's when James Caan strong arms his girlfriend Daphne and cuts her face,
Mm.
and
Mhm.
he does it to send a message to like the corporations. And it's like, first of all, this is like a problem that you see in a lot of things in our society where men are mad at other men, but they take it out on women. And it's just like a prime example of that. Like, awesome, awesome, cool, cool, cool. I hate it. Thank you. And then also, like, she literally is the messenger. Like, yeah, she's being like, maybe she's not being super nice to him in that moment because she was told, threaten him, get him to do this thing, because that's her job, right? And instead, he becomes this testosterone monster and you know, does strong arms her basically, and like I said, holds her down and cuts her face. And I don't want to see my hero doing that. Like, he's the hero of the film, and it's like gross. Like, really, did we have to? Like, because he doesn't have what, he doesn't have the balls to cut one of the executives in the face with his glove. He's got to do it to this woman that it's her job.
Right.
Aunt Sandy wasn't pleased. No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's a very good point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, you know, even I was like, damn, James. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
What's up
And I
with
was
that,
like, you know,
James?
shit, like their looks are like their commodity, you know, like, and you're gonna go,
Right? Yeah.
you know, fuck
She's
that
not
up
gonna
for her.
work unless that ever gets healed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
not mad at the women. I'm mad at the system.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like I went off on Moon Pie in my notes. I said, was I supposed to be sad? I'm not sad.
So that
I'm
was
just
a
feeling salty.
I can remember that was the very first time I had ever heard the term a vegetable for someone, you know, in
Yeah.
a coma, because I didn't know what that was, and I think I had to ask my mom what that meant, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking, you know, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, peas.
He doesn't look like a vegetable. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, they were obviously, you know, that was another ploy to get him to quit, you know, as they were kind of doing this to his best friend. And yeah, it's a little uncomfy, to be
So
honest.
let's talk about Tokyo. Team Tokyo.
The fucking best team.
How much do we love Team Tokyo?
I love them with my whole heart. I love them for their little, like, the way they do their thing. I love their yellow outfits that they all wear in the crowd, and I really love how they hurt Moon Pie. So yeah.
So I really liked how a couple of them wear glasses, playing this super violent, bizarre, you know.
But they wear glasses.
game.
I respect that. I respect the hell out of that because they're almost like, you're not gonna get near my face. Like, I'm not worried about it.
I'm just saying, like, as
yeah.
a person, as a bespectacled
Glasses wear.
person myself,
Yes.
you know, like, I can remember playing basketball, and it would always be a thing during a game. My glasses would go flying because I didn't have a strap on them or something, or
Yeah.
they'd get smashed up into my face, and like my sweat would, like, you know, cause it so I wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to see or anything. And I was like, them were keeping their glasses on. That's bold. That's very bold.
That's like I said. I think it's a win for all us glasses wearers. Like I said, they were like, you're not gonna get close enough to my face. My glasses are fine. I also I kind of liked how, you know, the Houston people, they come in and they're so like over the top and, you know, like super hyper, like in your face. And they didn't listen to the training from the expert that like came in and talked to them.
Right.
And then it's like you see the Tokyo guys and they're just like, they're super calm and they're like super composed. And like during the anthem, the way they all kind of take turns like staring down their person, I was like, this is good. This is really good. I loved all the action part. I actually think Rollerball itself, Rollerball, not Thunderball. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool sport, and I loved all the scenes of them playing. But yeah, Tokyo, I was like, bring it on.
Yeah, they were definitely my favorite. You brought up the anthem, and I thought it was funny that it was the corporate anthem,
Corporate anthem,
not the national anthem.
of course. Could you
Hungry
imagine?
Boy.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Hungry Boy just brought up the fact that it's a kind of a prophecy to, as he calls it, the repugnant reality TV to come later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the
totally.
point he wants to.
I 100% agree, Hungry. I get a lot of that same energy. I was just thinking about, people got so fucking pissed in this day and age when folks were taking a knee during the national anthem. Could you imagine in this world if you took a knee during the corporate anthem? You would wake up in a fucking vat of acid. Like you thought it couldn't get worse. It got worse when the corporations take over.
So the corporations, by the way, are energy, food, transport, communications, housing. All of those make sense. The last one, luxury.
Whoa, the bougie bitches.
Right?
That's their team name.
Just to take care of all the executives, as they call them.
Great. Love that for them. Another part of the movie I really liked, I'm just skipping right to it, is the end. I did enjoy the end. I like the message of him not killing the opponent and instead just doing his goal, because I liked that. Then they ruined it. But
I was just gonna say, so he kills a bunch of people, but he doesn't kill that last one.
But it's because
good on you, Jonathan.
And it's like because it's when it's all silent and it's like expected, like that he's gonna do it. He doesn't do it. I admire that. But then we had to have the close up. Nay, not just the close up. The extreme zoom. Enhance. The crowd chant, starting with Jonathan, as it builds to a thunderous roar. And then, of course, as mentioned, the fist
You're
pump
the best
and
around.
No, Neil, that's what you want to happen.
That's right. It wasn't.
That's what you want to happen. Instead, we get what? You guys. Thunderball.
All right. So for the record, Logan's Run was my favorite of these two.
I think I liked Logan's Run more as well.
The stunts in Rollerball were awesome. I mean,
Super
the things
awesome.
These guys were doing on like the motorcycles and roller skates, and that was pretty badass.
Yes.
I read multiple things. I'm not sure which is which, but this is like the first or one of the first to actually credit the stunt team in the credits of the film.
Ooh, that's cool.
I couldn't quite pin that down, but so yeah, that was kind of neat. I also told you, remember a date at the beginning when we first started.
You did
talking
say
about,
that, Caleb.
So this was released June 25th of 1975, and Logan's Run was released June 23rd of 1976. So these were both a year apart.
It's so different.
So very good. Like, I mean, just the color palette, palette alone, like where Logan's Run is like super bright and colorful, and Rollerball is all muted and ugly browns and oranges and
white and it's very like, I don't know, 70s. And I love their take on a cowboy hat, by the way, on a Stetson.
Yes.
Which he gives away quite.
He does, yes,
quite frequently.
Oh, he has no love for those hats.
He must have like a room full. My other note was like all of the TVs in his house had the large one on the bottom and then 3 small ones at top, but all 4 screens are playing something totally different.
Yeah.
Which I mean, we don't really have that setup, but I kind of feel like that was like slightly prophetic and like, you know, us watching all these multiple, you know, I mean, how many times have you been like reading something and watching TV and on your phone? And
exactly. I also, you know, I think it's really creepy in a sci-fi movie when the books are so controlled, you know, like when things are so censored, like as far as history and information and stuff. And I appreciate that Jonathan did try to go do some research, even went as far to the supercomputer in Geneva. But it was, it's all redacted.
So
that's
the actors they got though in this movie.
Yes.
They got John Houseman, who of course plays the head of the corporation that Houston belongs
Energy.
to.
Yeah.
Mr. Bartholomew.
So John Houseman, he's one of those like old school acting kind of people.
Right.
And then Ralph Richardson, same thing on the British side of the world. You know, he was a hardcore English. I think he may have even been a sir by the time he passed. But we know him. He was, of course, for me, it's like Time Bandits. He was a supreme being.
Yes,
in Time Bandits. But I mean, he's got a story career. And I remember just thinking, like, watching, it's like, how did they get these people to do this movie? I mean,
again, the director, the Cloud, James Caan. Yeah, these people carried, and I think on paper they probably did want to be a part of it because they probably thought the execution was going to come off a little different than it did.
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil, they even had the guy the first guy that Darth Vader force chokes.
Yes, he's in there too. He plays like a lackey of the corporation. Neil, you're being really silent. Did you like this movie? Did you like it more than Logan's Run? What are your thoughts?
No, you guys are on a perfectly good roll right now, so I'm just happy to let you guys go at it. And
I would like to know which one did you prefer, or did you hate them both equally?
No, when I was watching Rollerball, I was yawning a lot. I'll be honest, but I just had such a tiring week to begin with that that for the two films. But I do remember like Rollerball, I had to keep myself awake because I wanted to see more of the action of the game, which was basically the beginning and the end. So filling in the in between, was the harder part. And then Logan's. I guess I've seen Logan's Run before. It had been quite a while, but I had seen it before. But yeah, I mean, I love to look at a film of yesteryear that shows us the future.
Yes,
as we say, the retro future. I mean, I love
retrofuturism. Yeah,
like I love that. So for Logan's Run, I love that because it was more about the beeps and the boops, like we're talking about, and the pastel colors.
Did you guys get some Zardoz flashbacks like I did? I did get a little bit. I felt like I was back at Zardoz a little.
No, I can't say I did on Zardoz, but
I can't say I did.
I did get a little Zardoz energy.
I think you're just missing Sean Connery and his little.
I'm just missing
his little
him.
one piece.
And his hair, and his
hair,
and the fabulous hair,
sideburns,
and the gun, and the penis.
And his
Although I would take Zardoz over these two pictures. So.
Ooh.
And you had hated
Zardoz.
Like
Zardoz. I did. No, at one point, I hated.
Until we brought you over.
Yeah, see, I'm open. And you guys were able to convince me to look at it a different way. So I'm a swinger, baby. I'm open.
Okay.
So whatever. But
give me that Zardoz.
Give me that giant hard head, baby.
Also, another movie where books were important. Love that.
Yep.
Love that. I mean, that's about all I know about these two films.
Yeah, that's looking through my notes real quick. Mr. Bartholomew's relaxation room with all his wind chimes or whatever. The fuck was that?
And like he has all these like anytime he would, and no offense again to the great actor, but anytime he would go to talk, you're just like, oh Jesus, we're in for it. Because he just like takes this big breath and like and then he just like monologues out like this whole thing about man life. And it's like, I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it.
Another thing I found funny was Logan's Run, which is supposed to take place on, let's just say, the eastern seaboard of the United States,
Right.
Or the former United States at that point, was filmed in Houston and Dallas. This is supposed to take place in Houston for the most part, but was filmed mostly in Germany.
Hilarious. That is hilarious.
And it is funny that for Logan's Run, a movie that takes place, like you said, in Houston, and the two leads, of course, were British. It's like, it's
right.
Like, it's just funny how you have to,
I know,
pull people from everywhere.
Disbelief.
But it's okay. It's good. That's good. I would say that I feel like Rollerball should be paired with like Death Race 2000 or something. You know what I mean? A good.
And we all know I love me a little Death Race.
Little Death Race. Yeah.
I love me a little.
Anytime
Death
you get
Race.
some Roger Corman involved, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
So cool. All right.
There you have it.
What's next week? Because we don't know. You're keeping it a secret from us.
Oh my God. I wish I could do a really good box mwahaha right now. Mwahaha. I've decided to just do something very, very different. Very, very different than what we've been talking about. And I just want to take our relationship and I want to shove it over a line. That's what I like to do with my friends. You guys know this. I'm going to pick one of my favorite films that if you haven't seen this, please watch along. And that would be the original French Martyrs. A cult film in its own right. Beloved film, part of the new French extremity, which is a favorite subgenre of mine. And I really want to see you guys cry, and I just want to drink your tears. I want to drink your salty, salty tears, collect them in a little vial and drink them when I miss you guys. And I'll just be like, I'm so sad. I need a nightcap. I need some.
Take a little sip of Caleb and Neil's tears.
Exactly, because I love you.
Okay.
You.
Little French extremity, baby, next week.
And I love it because it's some people might never want to talk to me again, and that's fine.
All right.
I am box.
But I can see your mouth.
Yes. Let me get my oh my God, I should have. Oh my God, somebody please be fucking box for Halloween. And just like, but like you got to be on like a Roomba or something underneath. So you just or like one of those little Segway things or like the little hoverboards and like near.
Roombas stop when you stand on them. Personal experience.
Oh.
That's disappointing.
Right?
Maybe over a certain weight they do, because I've seen videos of babies and cats and things on them. So
oh yeah,
I'm no baby. Well, maybe an emotional baby, but
well, you are the baby.
Not a literal.
Oh my
baby.
God, baby from the baby. Oh my God, that fucking movie, I love it. Well, that's next week.
All right, little martyrs.
Yay.
We'll see how Neil and Caleb come up if we've been forever scarred.
We can only hope. Yeah, we can only hope.
It'll be great.
It'll be great.
Oh my goodness. Well,
don't watch the American one.
I'm gonna. No,
no, it's the homework is the French.
The French. All right. Well,
je ne sais pas.
Perfect. You're already ahead of the curve. You got this.
Les poissons. Oh.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just sing the song from The Little Mermaid with the chef with the knife.
Right.
It's fine.
You'll be good to go.
Suitors, I've missed one.
Poor Sebastian. It's a horror moment.
It's been a fun hour and a half, but Sandra's bedtime has passed. We must get her under the covers before she whittles away. She turns into An old sad box, which we don't want.
I need to be shiny.
Oh, watch it.
Bye, friends. Bye,
My friend Emma was here, by the way, too. Emma checked
I
in.
know she was.
Enjoy.
Hi, girl.
Laura, Mindy, Hungry, Kelly, Evan.
Oh,
Isabel,
Emma, you should watch Rollerball because you roller
Yeah.
skate.
Mark in East Washington. Michael B came in, by the way.
Oh, hey, Michael.
Oh, hi, Michael. Hungry boy. Thank you, Hungry. Michael Gathering Dust also came on board.
Oh, hey, Michael.
Oh, hey, Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
Marvelous Michael.
Macy for still here. Enoch for still here.
Goodbye.
Bye.